hereby state that it is 7:30 PM on Tuesday, March 24th, 2026, and that this regular meeting is being held in council chambers, 200 South Street, Morristown, New Jersey. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided according to law by written notice to the Morristown Daily Record, the official newspaper of the town of Morristown. Notice was also posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall and on the town website and filed with the office of the town clerk of the town of Morristown. I do further state that I shall enter into the minutes of this meeting a statement that such notice was furnished as particularly described by me in this public announcement. I will take a roll call. Councilwoman Foster is excused this evening. Councilman Iannacone.
Here.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Here.
Councilman Silva.
Present.
Councilman Umbriac.
Here.
Councilman Russo.
Here.
Council President Polifchuk.
Here.
Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Please, now we'll have a moment of silence. All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, we have 3 items on the consent agenda this evening. I will be reading them each separately for separate consideration. Item number 1 is approval of minutes for the March 10th, 2026 Town Council regular meeting. May I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second?
On the adoption of the minutes, Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay,
Abstain.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Councilman Umbriac.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Council President Polifchuk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 2 is a facilities use request application for the Centro Biblico Hope Day Festival at Caldwell Park and use of Bishop Nazarene Way parking lot on Saturday, July 18th, 2026.
Motion to approve.
Second?
On the adoption of item number 2, Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Abstain.
Councilman Umbriac.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Council President Polifchuk.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item is adopted. Consent agenda item number 3, extension of liquor license to include licensed Sidewalk Cafe 2026 for the Iron Bar Revolution.
Motion to approve.
Second?
On the adoption of item number 3, Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay.
Yes.
Councilman Silva.
Yes.
Councilman Umbriac.
Yes.
Councilman Russo.
Yes.
Council President Polifchuk.
Yes.
Item number 3 is adopted. At this time, I will open the floor for a public hearing on any matter. When called upon, please approach the microphone, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order.
Mr. Byrne?
Good evening. My name is Bill Byrne, and I live at 100 Franklin Street, Morristown. And I'm here to talk about the garbage that's by the bridge. And thanks to my good buddy, Councilman Umbriac, I said, I'll go pick up the garbage around the bridge. But I said, you got to get me one of those pickers, because if I get on my knees, I'm not going to be able to get up. So he got me one. So I said, okay. I told him I was going to do this. So I think we got to get up a cleanup committee there, and have people in the first ward to everybody. Take a shift, like I do it one time, somebody else does it, and so forth. Because I've been noticing walking around a lot of garbage. And also, I don't know who that property owner is, but I tell you what, somebody's gonna fall on the sidewalk there, because there's a lot of these, I don't know what they're called, but they're coming down from the trees. It's covered there. And it's just a matter, I almost fell today because of those things. So I don't know who owns that property, but it's a mess. And there's also a lot of garbage on this person's property, which I'm not going to go there to pick up because the ground's uneven. I almost fell a couple of times. So if everybody just pitches in, and we got to have more cleanups, too, because I noticed we used to have cleanup, on the first ward, we used to have, people help doing that. We got to have more cleanups if we want to make Morristown beautiful again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne. Any other members of the public want to address the council? Mr. Peters?
Ed Peters, 142 Washington Street. I'm here for a thank you, delayed thank you. Last year I received a letter that the sidewalk, finally, on Washington Street from Hillcrest to Burnham Park was going to be replaced. So I just want to say that that project, whoever was in charge of it, contracting out, the engineers, they did a great job, and I didn't know what the beautification and the sidewalks in Burnham Park was going to be. But I really appreciate those sidewalks in Burnham Park when I go walk my dog, and I really like those lights that were put in along there. And my sidewalk used to flood when it rained hard because it was different than all the other sidewalks. And this winter, shoveling it full width, unlike some of my neighbors, I really appreciated how nice that sidewalk was. So I just want to say thank you, Delades, thank you for that project in the town. I also want to thank Blue Diamond for their service to the years. I know the town works on a low bid thing, and Blue Diamond Disposal has lost the contract to give me garbage service. But those guys always were very pleasant whenever I interacted with them. I appreciated their use of natural gas-powered garbage trucks. I'm hoping that we get as good a service from whoever was the low bidder. I'll tell a quick story. About 3 years ago, I heard the truck coming, even though their trucks are fairly quiet, and I hadn't put my trash out. I came running out with a bag of trash from my house. I took a misstep off my own sidewalk and fell right to the ground. The Blue Diamond driver saw that, immediately hopped out, came over and helped me up along with the guy from the back of the truck, who came over and took my bag of trash and threw it in the back of the thing. And then like a few days later, when I happened to see him go by again, they were asking me if I was all right. They were really nice employees. So I thank you. And then I'll finish one. I got 50 seconds left. The pickleball courts at Lidgerwood.
I knew it was coming.
To charge $12.50 for 3 hours worth of use, I'm not going to buy the badge. 9 to 12, Monday to Saturday, those pickleball courts are useless to a lot of people in this town, and I'm not buying a pickleball badge. Anyway, that's it for today.
Thank you, Mr. Peters. Any other members of the public? Ma'am?
My name is Wendy Rice. I live on Hamilton Court in Morristown. And my question is, with the gasoline-powered leaf blowers, why has that for 3 years not being enforced? What am I supposed to do? The police don't enforce it, nobody, okay? I end up going out on my own and confronting them and saying, look, you've had 3 years grace period. You're not allowed to use these, okay? There's a set time, it's an ordinance. Nobody enforces this. So what do I do? Who do I call? Do I just go myself individually and take photographs and videos of them? Or what do you all want me to do? It's a law.
Call the police.
I do call the police.
Then they have to respond, and if they're not responding, the police chief is right there, and he heard your complaint, and he will follow up on it. Because
Okay.
that's their job. If you see someone using the gas and it's off the time of the year, you call the police, they have to respond. Now, if there's 4 police officers on and they're all doing something,
Right.
they're not gonna stop to go
Right.
with a leaf. But they have come in my neighborhood, my neighbors have called, and they have showed up, and they told them they can't use them, they stopped using them. But if you call the police, they're supposed to respond to that
Right.
ordinance. It is a law.
Where I live, I overlook Valley National Bank, PPAC Gladstone Bank, Chase Bank, TD Bank, all those places.
Oh, they're
Almost
all-
always
yeah.
have gasoline power. There's no need for that. First of all, there's probably 20 leaves that they're blowing, right? You know what I mean? Like they're out there with 4 or 5 guys, and it's not even that they're out there for 10 minutes. Sometimes they're out there for hours. I mean, a beautiful Saturday can be ruined by these guys out there for like 5, 6 hours, blowing a couple of leaves around, you know? And then they have an attitude with me, and I said, look, it's an ordinance, okay? They're like, well, what do you want us to do? The electric ones are expensive. And I'm like, look, your boss can afford them, okay? You're not gonna go out and buy them. Your boss can afford them, right? So I said, look, 3 years now, enough. So I'm gonna be out there all the time. The only reason I don't like doing it is because crossing South Street is so dangerous. You know what I mean? So there's always
Well,
that little
we-
thing.
We finally got the state. to
I
put-
know.
I know,
That's
it's not finished
beautiful.
yet. I
That's
know.
beautiful. We're so
We finally
happy
did it.
about that.
We
Yeah.
finally got it.
Okay, so then just call the police or go
Yeah.
myself and, okay.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, could you please repeat your name?
Wendy Rice.
Rice.
R-I-C-E.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other members of the public who'd like to speak to the council? All right, seeing none, we close the public portion.
Wendy, don't go anywhere. Not yet. I'll do the first address.
Sure.
Wendy, the other advice that we gave, in addition to what the mayor is saying, never talk to the contractors yourself.
Yep.
Get the phone number off the truck, okay, and either call the council people, because we have called them and told them they're in violation. Also remember what time of the year they are allowed to use gas-powered leaf blowers. And there's a spring period, there's a spring cleanup period that, during which they can.
No, there isn't.
They can.
No, there isn't.
There isn't anymore?
No, not in the
October
spring.
1st to December 31st.
That's
the
it.
Okay,
only
good.
time.
Never mind. And I'll just continue. Bill, thanks for the comments. Where's Bill Burns?
Oh, you got a phone, you got a phone call, there he is.
Oh, Bill. The, what, for spring cleanup too?
No,
The
that's
referendum.
problem. That's what they missed in that. They missed
A spring cleanup.
the spring cleanup, and then it should have went into effect after the spring cleanup. And they didn't do that on the referendum. That was a mistake, I believe, that the council made by not putting that extended time for the spring cleanup, and then it stops, and then all the summer. You don't need it in the summer because there's nothing
Yeah,
to
I
blow.
actually thought, you're right.
You
now,
can't
because
change it because it was done through referendum.
Yep.
Well,
You have to wait 3 years, I
because
believe.
we did discuss that.
one more
as an-
year and
as
then
an
you
option.
can-
I think there was like a 3-week spring cleanup period in there.
No, but if you wait one more year, then the council has the authority to do that if they wish.
And to add the spring cleanup. Maybe. Because I will tell you, like, in our neighborhood, almost all of them have converted to electric. You know, you see them, they all have electric, which is great.
I've seen landscaping trucks that actually say, we're all electric.
Yep.
On them. And there are many that are abiding by the,
And quickly,
By
other
the
towns are adopting similar ordinances.
and then
Yep.
some have gotten rid of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think my word I'm getting is that everybody's very appreciative of those ordinances, just like
Yeah.
Wendy's
No,
pointing out.
it's good.
You know. The second thing, Bill Byrne, you're right, we do have cleanups. And I will tell you that the best thing to do is to get associations together to clean up those areas. In some of our First Ward, we have 4 or 5 associations that do cleanups and do maintain certain, even public properties. So let's look at that and see who can help us out with that bridge area and the areas that you're pointing out. Okay? But that is a good association project, too. And that's it.
And Wendy, just to piggyback on what Councilman Anacone said, there's residents in the Fourth Ward that have reached out to me, and I'm more than happy to call. And they seem to be pretty receptive, too, when we call them and say, look, we're very polite about it, there's an ordinance, and they seem to take to that and say, we're sorry, we'll make sure we do the right thing. So, don't, like Councilman Anacone said, don't approach them yourselves and put yourself in that predicament. Just, reach out to your any of us, and we can do that for you. Yeah.
Yeah, just to piggyback on what you guys are saying too, yeah, please let us know if the police aren't responding or anything like that too. I've contacted the school district because they are in violation of it. So it's a constant issue, but we are trying to be on top of it. But please, for anyone listening, if you hear it, please call the police on the non-emergency number, and when they can, they will respond. Mr. Peters, thank you about the sidewalks too. I live around the corner and I appreciate them as well. So thank you to the administration. And I know Mr. DeVizio has worked hard on getting those lights properly. So I appreciate all that effort, and I've gotten some great feedback on them as well. So thank you. And then Mr. Byrne, you're right. Cleanup is an issue. We did have the Whippany River cleanup this past Saturday. Very well attended. There was a lot of trash pulled out on Saturday, and it is an issue in every single neighborhood. There's no neighborhood that is, you know, that's not impacted by this. I encourage, you know, anyone to pick up in front of your house, pick up a little bit in front of your neighbor's house on either side. If you see someone on the street, please pick it up. You'll see Councilman Umbriak walk around town with a picker up and a little bucket.
5-gallon bucket.
Yep.
I walked maybe 2 weeks ago, right after the snow melted, and in about an hour, I filled it 5 times.
Yeah.
Walking from my house down Franklin Street to the green, and then crossed South Street to the other side and back.
Yeah.
5 buckets.
Yeah, and then at the end of the summer, I can tell you exactly when school starts without even looking at the calendar. So,
Yeah.
I agree with you, and town cleanup, the spring cleanup is coming up soon.
Yep.
I'm sure the mayor will have a little bit more information on that, but I encourage everyone to participate in it. So, thank you. All right, so we're reports of the mayor and town officials?
Sure. I'll just briefly touch on the cleanup. As you stated a couple of weeks ago, once the winter ends and the snow melts, there's always a lot of garbage because with the amount of wind and storms that we've had, it gets buried underneath the snow, and when the snow melts, you see garbage. The town is doing what they can everywhere they can on public areas to pick up garbage. It just always seems like a lot. So there's a town cleanup is coming. Check the website, townofmorristown.org, and you'll see when the next whole town cleanup is. You guys just did the Whippany River cleanup, and that's basically really, after the winter, it's always a lot of garbage. And so you have to, everybody's got to pitch in. Believe me, I deal with it every weekend because I'm 2 blocks down from the center of town. So, you know, these kids just drop stuff as they're going back and forth all weekend long, and so you just constantly got to pick up. But there isn't usually a large amount of garbage after the winter ends when the snow melts. We'll direct DPW also to make sure they police down by the bridge in that area, any public area where they see a lot of garbage, make sure the street sweeper hits it, things like that. That overpass needs some work done too from the state, although I will give a shout out to the DOT. The fact that they put the beacon across Hamilton to, on South Street.
9 years.
Yeah, don't tell me about it. You know how many phone calls we've made to DOT over the years? I mean, we understand COVID. Everything got backed up with COVID. But I got to be honest with you, we had the last conversation, they were talking 60 months. That wasn't that long ago. So we didn't think we were going to see this for a few years.
Well, it's not up yet.
Well, it is, and the only reason why it's not active is because if you look at the crosswalk, it's on an angle. And it can't be on an angle. It has to be straight across. So they have to move the curb cut over to the right. So that means moving some wiring over. So the curb cuts have to be exactly in line, and the crosswalk has to be in line. It can't be on an angle into near the parking. It goes kind of an angle to TD Bank parking lot. So it's going to be straight across. They did a great job installing that. The chief of police and I were up there talking to them. They did a great job. They were happy to do it. They knew it was coming. If you've seen it, they've been around. They were down by Ridgedale, they were doing work down by Ridgedale and the exit off of 287 onto Abbott. So they've been more proactive in Morristown than I've seen in quite a while. So I want to shout out to our governor and her team paying attention to Morristown. I wish they would pay a little bit more attention to the timing of the lights on the green. I just don't think they're, we've been hearing this since council was talking about this in the 90s, the timing of the lights up there. I think the police chief hit it right on the head when he said, I would not be surprised if the fiber's been cut in the street at some place, somewhere, because those light sequences just don't seem to work with the traffic. And it's not hard to do the traffic counts. And it just doesn't make sense that when you make a right off a Market and then you want to go straight down South Street, you make a right when it turns green, and then when you make the right, this light is red. So you go 25 feet, and that's it. And you got to wait for that to change. And then it's just the sequences don't seem to work right. I know when there's a power glitch, they fall back to some other time and place of the way the traffic was in Morristown. In Morristown, as we know, because we pinged all those cell phones for a year, that a lot of our traffic is cut through traffic, going from, east to west, north and south. We just know how much traffic flows through Morristown, in and out, to the western part of the county and to 24 and to 287. And through, they don't want to drive 80, they come through Morristown. So hopefully we'll get that fixed one day. But we appreciate the DOT paying attention to Morristown, and I know that the people are very appreciative, Mr. Iannacone in your ward, for that traffic beacon going up. And
Now we can put our focus on Morris and King.
yes, that would even be better.
That's the next one.
Yeah, that'd be the next one. That's a county road, so let's
I know
see,
Jillian's
let's see if
working
we
on
can
that
get
too.
on the county. It's in the pipeline, and the last conversation I had with the county, I swear it's not the cappuccino. But the conversation I had with the county on their road was, I don't feel that they're cleaning their road enough on Morris, and there's crosswalks need to be redone. And
Especially at Ridgedale.
and you know what they told me? They don't do the crosswalks. It's their road. They don't do the crosswalks. So we pay all this money. They have hundreds of millions of dollars in their budget. We're starving on our budget because we have so many millions of dollars we don't get because of tax exempt properties. But the rich county government can't paint the crosswalks, redo the crosswalks. I just don't understand how that's possible. It makes no sense. It's their road, and what? He goes out, okay, good. That's, next week, the bid goes out for Morris and King.
Good.
So anyway, I'm not gonna, it's enough for the county. All right. St. Patrick's Day Parade was a great parade. Shout out to the police department, public safety, Chief Mike Cochran, all the work that went into making sure that our residents and the people that visited to Morristown were safe. They did an outstanding job. A shout out to, I believe it was Lieutenant Labar, who did some of the planning, if not all the planning on it. I'm not sure how that works. But it was well planned. Anywhere you walked, you saw a police presence. And I want to shout out to all the different towns that had police officers here, making our parade experience great for the families that came out. Of course, you always have to deal with a few people later at night that may have had a few beers and some Jameson, but overall, it was a very, very well-run parade. Thank you to the Morris County Parade Committee, and it was great. Everybody was Irish that day. And it was a beautiful sentiment when the pipe band stopped in front of the Grand Cafe to play Amazing Grace for the loss of the Lloyds. So that was a beautiful touch. And if you didn't see that on Instagram, Google it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Oh, the two, Desi and Allison Lloyd, passed away, the owners of the Grand Cafe, within a few months of each other. So the daughter is running the Grand Cafe now. During the parade, obviously, he was one of the leading Irish statesmen in our town. Stopped in front during the parade. The parade stopped, and they played Amazing Grace in front of his establishment. I thought it was a beautiful touch. Morristown High School presented their spring musical, Fiddler on the Roof. Shout out to all the kids that were in that play. It's an amazing play, and for those who went and saw it, it was a great treat. They do a great job, the high school, with their drama and the way they put on plays is just amazing. So shout out to the high school and to all the parents and the kids that attended and those who acted in the spring musical. The 20th, the NAACP Annual Freedom Fund Anniversary Gala, Councilwoman, myself, Councilwoman Sheba Foster. It was Councilman Umbriak, Councilman Polipchak. I think you were out of town. I think you might have been under the weather. It was a great night, great speaker. I want to thank them for the honoree and being honored by them, and it was a great event. It was a great event. Really appreciate the NAACP, and it was their 94th anniversary here in Morris County. Pretty impressive. Saturday, the annual Whippany River cleanup. Thank you guys for doing that. Council President, do you want to talk about the ribbon cutting at Siest Labella?
Yeah, Councilman Russo was there as well. Say La Bella had their ribbon cutting on Saturday afternoon. Great shop. My wife joined me and bought something on the way in. So, they're right on Community Place. Please check them out.
So handbags?
Yeah, it's
Luxury
Designer
handbags.
handbags, so soft retail, which is great. Did you get a designer bag, Chris?
So I did see, I don't know too much about handbags, but I saw a beautiful Louis Vuitton for $350.
That's a steal.
they're
That's a steal.
they're all vintage and resells. So.
Ah, excellent. So that's a really cool.
Upcycling.
Really cool store. It's good to see soft retail opening up in the downtown. 28th, we have the annual Easter egg hunt. That's at 10 a.m. at Lidgerwood, rain or shine. And 11 a.m. here at Town Hall, we have the League of Women Voters No Kings Rally in front of Town Hall. For those who are going to attend that, or both. On Monday, March 30th, there's a 3 p.m. ribbon cutting at Sabora Latinos on 91 Morris Street. That's the same owner of Chef Freddy's, Nestor. And I've seen some pictures already on Instagram. Looks like it's doing very well already. So that's going to be another added restaurant to our downtown. On Tuesday, March 31st, noon, grand opening of ENT. It's an Allergy Associates at 10 Madison Avenue, 3rd floor, state-of-the-art clinical location. So that's good. A lot of people dealing with allergies all the time. Friday, April 3rd, Town Hall will be closed in observance of Good Friday. April 14th, noon ribbon cutting ceremony at Shade Tree Garage, located at 171 Washington Street. Now, I leaned over to our business administrator and I go, is Kristen going to open a garage, a Shade Tree Garage? She's our chairwoman of our Shade Tree. So I was like, wait a minute, I don't remember seeing that crossing my desk. Did we authorize that? We're trying to find every penny in our budget. Did we authorize a Shade Tree Garage? So she said, no, it's a new business. It's a established business and new owners, and it's not our Shade Tree Commission. But I did think that it was you at first.
It's been there a
I was
while.
like, okay, so we have that's pretty cool.
It's been there for a while.
We have a Shade Tree Commission garage. All right, a couple of quick things before I end. One is, you saw this in the paper, the passing of John Benjamin Franklin, a staple in Morristown since 1985. He was a devout community servant, having served the executive director of the Community Soup Kitchen of Morristown, now Nourish NJ, before leading the United Way of Northern New Jersey as a CEO for nearly 2 decades. He founded the Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed Alice Project, groundbreaking initiative that brought national attention to the millions of working households struggling to afford necessities. His memorial service was held at Rowe Funeral Home on Sunday, March 15th. I know Councilman Anacone, you knew.
Good neighbor.
Yep,
Very
was your
good
neighbor. And, I hadn't seen him in a number of years.
He actually
but-
founded the Nourish
Yeah.
program. And
Nourish
he was the
NJ.
founder of that program also.
Yeah, and I also want to, it hasn't really gone out yet, talked to the chairwoman of the Shade Tree Commission today about it, the passing of Michael Rockland.
Yes.
For those who, Michael's been my neighbor for almost 35 years, and was on the Shade Tree Commission, an author, professor, great guy, great neighbor, friend, and there'll be more to read about him in the coming days. But he's written some great books and world-traveled, just an amazing human being, and he will be missed in the town of Morristown. And he will be missed in the neighborhood, especially walking the door, his dog George. So shout out to Patricia Ard and their family, kids, but we'll be in touch soon. I'm sure we'll be reading about him in the paper. And other than that, Council President, I don't believe I have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Oh, yes, one more thing, more important thing, and thank you for bringing it up. I agree with you. Blue Diamond has been excellent and has given excellent service to Morristown. I have the same sentiment that it's a shame their pencils weren't sharp enough and they got underbid, but that is the nature of government bidding. We can't handpick who we want. If you think that happens in Morristown, it never happens in Morristown. It's done the right way. You know, if it was my choice, I mean, Blue Diamond was excellent. Everybody in my neighborhood loved them. They're great, and the reasons why we got them to begin with was because of their natural gas on their trucks. It was an environmental twist to their service. They were underbid by a company called F. Basso Disposal. They will start April 1st, 2026, waste collection. What's changing? New trucks, personnel, trucks will be loaded, labeled Basso, so you'll see that. What's not changing is your schedule. Your collection schedule stays the same. Need help? Residents can contact Basso directly, phone or text, report a complaint online. There's a phone number, there's a website. All that will be get out to the public. It'll be on our website. Again, thank you to Blue Diamond for all the years of service they have given to our community. The guys that work in Blue Diamond were fantastic. And I've said this before, the first time I saw these guys, when I was told as a councilman that you couldn't privatize garbage in Morristown, and being a very strong union advocate, I said, why? And they said, because of the unions. But a lot of our trash pickup was being done by people they were pulling out of DPW and other parts of our town that weren't getting the parks done and things like that because they were going into trash. So what we found was you could privatize and it could be done and nobody lost their job. A couple of people retired and I moved the rest of them back to DPW and we were privatized and we were able to save over $1 million. But what happened as a result of that was most of the claims and insurance were coming out of trash, bad backs, legs. So next thing we know, a year later, our premiums dropped by hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we were able to save almost $1.9 million in a matter of 2 years. So it can be done if it's done right. And the council agreed when I did that when I became mayor. And it could have been done years before, but Blue Diamond is the group that we brought in. When I became mayor, they were here for a long, long time. And again, thank you for their service. Well-run company. Their workers are fantastic. First time I saw a guy drop a bag of garbage, they went into the truck, took a broom out with a shovel, and they swept it up and cleaned it. And that was the sign that we picked the right company. So hats off to them, and we hope we have the same experience with Basso. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles in the world of government. That's the way the bidding goes. So good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, move on to the council liaison reports. Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes, good evening. I did get a report, but it didn't come through my phone properly, so she's gonna redo it tomorrow. But we was at the meeting, I was at the meeting last night. It was very quiet. Didn't talk about too much about the seniors and making sure they get the right thing going on with their health, wellness check. I think the mayor brought up a couple of good concerns about turning the heat off too early because of the temperature drop. That's about all that went on. It was a very quick meeting, so it was good.
Thank you. Councilman Albrecht?
Yes, sir. From the Morristown Partnership, so some exciting news to share. So Morristown Partnership has contracted with Under Pressure House Washing LLC to perform overnight pressure washings of downtown sidewalks and curbs, 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., weather permitting. Scheduled dates, March 29th and 30th, Sunday to Monday, South Street and adjacent side streets. April 6th and 7th, Monday and Tuesday, Speedwell Avenue. April 26th and 27th, that's a Sunday, Monday, Morris Street. May 4th and 5th, Monday, Tuesday, Washington Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Alternate dates, if needed, are May 12th, Tuesday, and May 17th, Sunday. Areas not completed during scheduled dates will be addressed before moving to the next location. And hydrant use has been coordinated with SMC MUA. Again, this is one of the things that we were able to accomplish with the expansion of the SID. And we look forward to having our sidewalks power washed. I think it'll look great.
Yeah, thank you. It was great last year, so I'm looking
Yep.
forward to it again this year.
Thank you.
Councilman Russo?
We're supposed to have a planning board meeting this Thursday, but nothing's come through yet, so we may not be having one. It might be quiet again.
All right, thank you. And Councilman Silva?
Yes. The Morris Parking Authority met on March 11th for the regular meeting. There was a talk about the celebration of the 70th anniversary of MPA in Morristown. They celebrated that on March 6th, thanks to Park Supervisor David Mass, who made management aware of the significance when he brought an ice cream cake to the co-workers and shared with all staff, acknowledging the occasion. The commissioners honoring David for his positive contributions to the workplace, and we had a celebration at the 70th anniversary at the meeting also. That was a very nice meeting, and speaking about the celebration of 70 years of the Morristown Parking Authority. One of the topics that was talked about in the meeting was the abandoned vehicles policy. The MPA has begun taking steps to address potential abandoned vehicles on their property. It's about 5 or 6 vehicles among all the lots or buildings. And Bank Restoration Project, the repair and preventive maintenance phase 2 of the Ant Bank Garage will begin in the spring. The Hard Restoration Project, the MPA awarded a contract for the repair and preventive maintenance of the Hard Parking Garage. One of the things that also was highlighted was the February snow emergencies. The MPA provided significant support to the town residents during the February snow emergency. From February 22 and 23, 843 residents were assisted. One important note for all of us is that there is a vacancy for commissioner, and if anyone knows a person that wants to serve as a commissioner, I think that the MPA is a very good opportunity to serve in town, knowing that when anybody comes to Morristown, one of the first experiences that we'll have is parking.
Yep.
So it's a lot of work there. The next meeting for Parking Authority will be on April 15 at 6 p.m. That's all.
Council President, I forgot something with the power washing, if I can just
Sure.
make a quick update. So the most important thing, prior to the start of the work, door-to-door notifications will be completed, and email communications will be sent out, and messaging is also on the town website. So people will be they're not going to be surprised that there's pressure washing happening. So-
It's the businesses.
Yes.
Can I just ask the councilman a question? Sure. First of all, thank you and Dave for negotiating all that into that contract with the park partnership. Didn't we also negotiate a porter program for them to be cleaning up the garbage?
I believe so.
Do we know where we're at with that?
You can follow up with Jennifer.
Okay. Could you do that?
I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good?
Good. Thank you.
No problem. We'll move on to regular business.
There are 2 ordinances for introduction this evening. Ordinance number O-5-2026, ordinance amending and supplementing the code of the town of Morristown, Chapter 7, Traffic, Section 40.2, handicap parking on streets for private residences, to add a dedicated handicap parking space for a resident of Madison Street.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance O-05-2026.
Second?
Any comments or questions? On the introduction of ordinance O-5-2026, Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbriak?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk?
Yes.
Ordinance 5-2026 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on April 14th. Ordinance number O-6-2026, ordinance amending section 2-83.1 fees of Article 15, policies and procedures of Chapter 2 administration of the Code of the Town of Morristown.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance O-06-2026.
Second?
Any comments or questions?
I just want to add, thank you, Ms. Herrick, for the memo that outlined all the issues and everything in here, and just couple numbers I want to highlight so everyone realizes how big our hospital is. In 2024, the town of Morristown issued 13,816 birth certificates. In 2025, they issued 16,529 birth certificates. Both my kids were some of those numbers in there, but I think it really highlights how much work goes into. Yeah, he's got 4. He's going to beat me on that all the time. But it really highlights the need for this update and also what our hospital does. So thank you for highlighting all that.
Absolutely. Okay. On the introduction of ordinance O-6-2026, Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk?
Yes.
Ordinance O-6-2026 has been introduced properly by title and will be considered further after public hearing on April 14th. There is one ordinance for public hearing and adoption. Excuse me, that's ordinance O-4-2026. Ordinance rescinding O-32-2023 and removing a designated handicap parking space on Speedwell Avenue from section 7-40.2 of the Code of the Town of Morristown.
Make a motion to adopt the ordinance O-04-2026.
Second?
At this time, I'll open the floor for public hearing on ordinance 4-2026 only. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions? Okay, on the adoption of ordinance O-4-2026, Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk?
Yes.
Ordinance O-4-2026 is adopted. There are 7 resolutions to be considered this evening. Are there any that members of council would like to pull for separate consideration? With that, I'd ask for a motion to adopt resolution numbers R-78 through R-84-2026.
So moved.
Second?
On the adoption of those 7 resolutions, Councilman Iannacone?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lindsay?
Yes.
Councilman Silva?
Yes.
Councilman Umbreak?
Yes.
Councilman Russo?
Yes.
Council President Polipchuk?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolutions are adopted.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kay. We have no unfinished old business. We have no new business. So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.